11 All Blacks invited is prop Steve McDowell in the Anzac side. The other Kiwis are fullback Kieran Crowley, whose last test against Australia was in '86, and Frano Botica, who also played in that series. The rest of the Anzac backs played last week against the Lions, but the only 3 forward survivors are Miller, Campbell and Cutler. Recalled Poitevin, Gavin, McBain and McIntyre are all playing for spots against New Zealand in a fortnight. Tour captain Finlay Calder stands down from the Lions, but his successor Dean Richards was injured at training, so Scott Derek White comes in at number 8. 3 new backs also are picked, centres Mullen and Devereaux and 5'8" Chalmers, who played in the first test. In the pack, Robinson comes in for Calder, while the outstanding tight 5 engine room is intact apart from Norster for Dooley. 5 each from England and Scotland, 4 from Wales, Mullen the lone Irishman. And there's the distinctive Anzac jersey. Australia and New Zealand represented for the first time. And the Australian coach Bob Dwyer said the appearance of Steve McDowell, the All Black loosehead prop, is worth the admission price alone. New Zealand judo champion 6 years in a row, and certainly the #1 man in his spot. And there's the Yugoslav Maori from North Harbour, the brilliant runner Frano Botica, playing at inside centre today. He's out to prove a point to the All Black selectors that, OK, he can't oust Grant Fox, but he can play inside centre. And there's the Taranaki dairy farmer, Kieran Crowley. He played against Australia in that Bledisloe Cup series in 1986. He broke his leg in '87 and missed the whole of the season. David Soul leads out the British Lions. Second time as captain on tour, the honours graduate, a wine merchant, and also a very skillful loosehead prop, very mobile man around the paddock. A great honour for him this afternoon. He's certainly been one of the form players in the Lions lineup, who came crashing down from his tight wire act last week in the 3rd test match. But as they did during the war, when you crashed a plane, they put you straight up again. And Campese looking for a big one this afternoon to restore pride and confidence.
David Stoll will captain the British Lions this afternoon.
And fittingly, the first time the Lions have had him on tour, Kerry Fitzgerald, who controlled the World Cup final in 1987.
To win it. Somehow Jeff Miller finds his way into every ruck and maul to get right at the ball.
Michael Liner kicked beautifully at the stadium last week, successful with his last 5 attempts and almost snatching the game for Australia. He missed his first one though. Not today. Straight over the red spot on the crossbar, and the Anzac 15 has scored first points.
The Anzac, picked by number 10, Michael Liner. Anzac 3, the British Lions 0.
Well, there's been a great psychological warfare, Chris, in the early scrums.
Good, and there was only 4 Lions, and Teague couldn't make up his mind. You watch him out to the side there, see him out forming the second line. Clearly not part of the line out, and therefore must be back 10 metres.
Clearly offside, Mike Teague. He gave away a few penalties in the 3rd test last week at the breakdown, going in over the ball and playing it on the ground. So Michael Liner now, with this breeze, looking to see the Anzacs out to a 6-point lead. Liner kept up his great average in test matches during the recent series, 36 points in the 3 games. Just out to the right. So back we go to the 22. Anzacs in the lead by 3 points to 0. And the Anzac coach is Bob Dwyer. New Zealand coach in '93 will be in charge in the corresponding game.
And came right up on it. You can see here it's been a very quick ball won by Moore there. The ball's come across, big wide out pass, plenty of red jumpers there. The first player to come up is Michael Liner to try and get the tackle. And Crowley goes in on underneath there, but see, he's laying on the ground. He must get on his feet before he plays it. A penalty.
So now it's with Gavin Hastings to try and level things up. The ANZACS have been playing with this fairly brisk northerly breeze first 15 minutes of play. Hastings also in superlative goal-kicking form last week. 5 penalties in the third test. He took his total past 250 points in internationals for Scotland and the Lions. Swinging away. 3-point lead retained by the ANZACS. Good drop out by Liner. It's Norster doing well for the Lions. Sandy McNeil, touch judge on the far side, has his flag out for an indiscretion. Robert Norster, using the fist, has been penalised.
Good drop out this by Liner, right on the spot. Norster a little frustrated in the middle. Bit hard to see it all going on, but Sandy McNeil on the spot.
It was pretty harmless, I think.
Shoulders and holding players down.
Yes, Frenchman René Auquet didn't impress too many people during the 2 test matches. And Liner now with his kick from just on his side of halfway. Allowing for the angle, it's 55 metres.
Well, so far it's been a little bit fragmented, the play. No team's really got into the rhythm yet of what's been expected of the occasion. And I think that once either team gets their set play right and start to get a bit of continuity of ball, we'll start to see some spectacular facets of the game.
Excellent crowd, near 20,000. Liner's kick is hitting the uprights. Robinson couldn't control, and that man is accidentally offside, I think.
I'm not sure if it was too much of an accident.
There's no accident about that. He's definitely offside. Straight off one player's hands and over, and played by Teague in front of the man.
Well, the referee's ruled it accidentally anyway.
With a poetic license taken there, I think.
Liner now. Little jink back inside. And they've lost 4 or 5 metres. But the ball comes out. Parr Jones wants it. Robinson's a long way offside. Bodiger now to Crowley. He's in trouble.
Is Kerry Fitzgerald allowing a little bit of license there for Andy Robinson? If Miller wasn't bound previously, then certainly Robinson wasn't even close to being bound.
Chris, it seems as though the Lions here are trying to take this scrum as low as possible. Last week we saw them taking the ball very, very low, and Tommy Lawton having problems trying to hook for it on Australia's ball.
I don't think McIntyre and McDowell are worried at all about how low it is. I think Griffiths is just having a bit of trouble settling in at tight head, and there you can see in the shot Steve McDowell not making it any easier.
Well, not a good pass from Jones. Hastings did well, taking it well above his head. This is the 15th scrum we've had in the first 20 minutes of play. Campese now. Pass towed ahead by Liner.
See, the ball's gone wide here. It's gone to Campese, who straightens the play up correctly so he can open up the rest of the field. He flicks it back. Liner toes it through.
Here's David Campese into space. Ian Williams now, very quick man. He lost the ball ahead. No try. The crowd going up, and almost a moment to savour for Kieran Crowley.
And still a lot of pressure here for the Lions. Good play, good work by Campese to cut out the middle man and get it immediately wide to Williams, because that's where it was on. But this critical scrum. Watch the drive come up the left-hand side.
The Lions scrum certainly has been disrupted. And they're only 18 metres out from their goal line.
Time and time again.
They've been able to come back so strongly and take the series and show so much heart here today too. Cutler at the back. Gavin couldn't control. Lions man, Robinson on the ground. There he is. Not allowing fair release. Well, I think we're set for some breathtaking action in the second half.
You borrowed Gary Pearce's crystal ball, Gord?
I hope not.
Well, both sets of packs look fairly tired, but I think that's from a lot of the wheeling that's going on in scrums, the interference in lineouts.
So Lino, handy position. 20 metres in from the touchline. And he's made it 6-0. 2 penalty goals from the deadly right boot of Michael Liner. Have the ANZACS ahead. And we have a few minutes before half-time.
We've seen 2 punishing performances by the ANZACS in the second half of both by the Lions in both the second and third tests. They're not in 6 of their tour matches at half-time and stormed home to win by plenty of points. Very fit. Of course, the touring party would have to be favoured.
Campbell goes high, well taken by Tim Gavin. Just watching the ball all the way, that was the secret. The Griffiths has mauled away. Moore delivers to Jones. And look at the line here for the British Lions. Chalmers, Mullen, Gavin Hastings in. Mullen 3 tries against New South Wales country. Back it goes to Gavin Hastings. Has to be a try. Brendan Mullen. His 7th try of the tour. He's the man who started the bust. And the Lions are going to draw level in the shadows of halftime. Well, Brendan Mullen has scored 3 tries in the opening match against WA, New South Wales country, and here he is again.
A great Irish athlete. Stretches outside the tackle of Bodica, inside Dominic Maguire. He gets checked here. Hastings worked well, and Mullins continues in support. Great try.
Scores are level, just as they were at half-time. In the third test at the Sydney Football Stadium, the Lions supporters have been in, I think, one hangover for the last week. They've certainly enjoyed themselves.
As we can see here, it was Mullen and Devereux were the centres on the Lions who would look like playing the test. But here you can see why Mullen was in that selection. Not only did he punch it up, but he also was there to pick the ball up again, never more than a metre off it. And over and pushes over for a great Lions try.
Yes, well, Brendan Mullen, former Irish hurdles champion, a very fine athlete. Far Jones. Back to Williams. Ian Williams splits a gap. Bodiger tries to pick up with one hand. The ANZACS keen to keep this ball alive. The referee playing advantage. Here it comes. Campese. This is Maguire straightening. Towed ahead by McDowell, picked up by Jones. Williams got him by the collar. Well, the ANZACS effectively preventing that ball from coming out. Lions feed, 10-metre line, Australian or ANZAC territory. There's only 3 players left in the ANZAC scrum. The scrum has finished, and very good control there by the Lions pack.
Well, as soon as you detach and you're not behind the last feet of the scrum, then you're offside. Gary Fitzgerald playing advantage.
Yes, you must have a minimum of 5 players in the scrum. And there were plenty of seagulls. So the Lions now can hit the lead for the first time.
What's impressive, Gordon, is that this Lions side, there's a number of players that have come in who have been playing Wednesday games. But they've really come to a big game today and really still got that cohesion. Even though they're from a number of different countries over there, they're still as one now. As the entire team are playing as players one.
Yes, well, with a touring team, you have your midweek side, but the Lions are proving with their replacements that they all are of true international quality. Gavin Hastings, no problems with the distance. The flags are up. And the Lions hit the lead for the first time in 45 minutes of football.
That cohesion's got to be a reflection of the closeness of Utley and McGeechan to the players. Both players, or both coaches, have only played a number of years ago and really must have a good understanding with them.
Ackford goes high. He did very well. Morster goes into Moore. And there's the big drive now. Sol back with Robinson. McDowell, the tackler, number 1. Poitevin has spotted the ball. It's come out for the Lions. Mullen now, showing he can kick also on his right boot, not as well as his left. And that's a knock on by Kieran Crowley. Well, the ball did travel forward. Crowley under no real pressure. It went back once he dropped the ball, but then rolled forward. So is that a knock on? Fine line. Again, Chalmers with the Gary Owen. That one coming down near the 22. Picked up by Farr Jones and Campese. Campese follows, kicking into space, and Williams hears after it too. Look at this. Williams and Campese there. Williams all the way. They won't catch this man. Ian Williams absolutely sprinted like a man possessed onto that Campese kick. And the ANZACS back in the lead.
Well, they've come here to Ballymore to see the two fast men of the ANZAC team, Campese and Williams, and they saw them both here. Good switch of play. The chip ahead they kept under control and down the line. Williams good. Shows the subtlety of selling Gavin Hastings the dummy, and has the pace to beat Evans and come around close to the post.
So Ian Williams, who recently got his Oxford blue, and a very nice touch here as the crowd are clapping Campese, coming back to his wing on this side. Well, the second half has certainly started off in the right vein. Michael Liner adds the extras, and the ANZACS back out to a 3-point lead.
Across the line.
Morster, Sol and Poitevin the tackler. Teague mauls it. Jones and Chalmers and Mullen. Devereaux, Hastings, went without it. Knock-on rule. Lions just crabbing across field. Easy targets for the ANZAC backs.
Well, some very good pressure by Michael Linen as he really came up on Chalmers, so he moved him across field.
Almost a tight head.
The major problem today is that, again, like Australia, the ANZACS are having problems putting the Lions on the deck. They're able to control their second phase by being able to maul it and roll it around the edges.
Michael Griffiths on this side, the Lions tight head pulling down on Steve McDowell's arm.
So we're having trouble here with Brian Moore. He's now in. 12-9 to the Anzacs. A thriller here at Ballymore. Crowley couldn't pick up, he knocked on. Pass, not the ideal one there for Crowley, who had to bend down towards his bootlaces to pick it up. Just a friendly pat from Liner. Chalmers again, Mullen, and a long one for Hastings. The cutout this time. Scott Hastings on the wing. Williams. Good pass to Gavin Hastings. Bodiger the tackler, and Devereaux. Oh, magic try from the British Lions to take them back into the lead.
Well, there wasn't any many tricks in that. It was just doing the basics of the game right, and that was moving it wide and backing up. Basic things of why people play rugby. You can see here they've committed in early and the ball goes wide, but a very good pass here by Mullins as he cuts it out and he hits Hastings at a different angle.
Jones clears well, and Chalmers finds his touch. Well, time is up on the clock. Has someone forgotten to ring the hooter? Fitzgerald's looking at his watch. This is surely the last line out. Norster did well against Cutler. Now they go through Andrew. Andrew kicks the ball into touch, and the Anzac match is all over. The Lions have won it by 19 points to 15. 11 wins from 12 games, and that was a performance of true character by this outstanding British Lions team. Running through the scorers, Brendan Mullen and John Devereaux.
Good morning all, welcome to Rugby Chat 8th of July 2025. Well, that was a bit of a fun opening to the show, good long 20-minute intro, because what a huge week we've got ahead of us here at following here at Rugby Heartland and on all your other media channels and all that. And of course, for me, it does wind up with the Anzacs playing the Lions on Saturday night, 10 p.m. New Zealand time. So, yeah, thank you for watching. And if you are watching us from around the world on YouTube, on Facebook, or wherever else, drop us a note. Tell us where you're watching from. It'd be awesome to hear your questions. Hopefully Mike will be in soon, but I know he's got an appointment today, so he might not be around. But I've got the lion and the teddy bear lion to keep me company if he doesn't come on. But hey, what a weekend of rugby. That's all I can say. But the great thing is this is New Zealand Rugby Provincial. We talk about more than anything. And so what I'll do is I'll just quickly jump straight in and talk to you guys about what's happening. And the great news is we're starting to get representative teams. And the first one we have to look at here is the Central Hawke's Bay. Congratulations to all these players who have got the Central Hawke's Bay are a sub-union, and you know, they've got a game against Northern Wanganui, which is a sub-union. They've got a pre-season against Ngāti Pro East Coast and King Country and their warm-ups for the Heartland Championship. And then, of course, the Wairarapa Bush B team get a crack at hopefully finalising some places there to get into the squad. So I'll just try and blow this up a little so these guys can get some shout outs here. There's some interesting names there. Crib, Cutbush, Twigley. I mean, the Baker boys, they had a really good game against East Coast last year, going down, I think it was 22-20 in the dying second. So keep an eye out for the Central Hawke's Bay as they move forward with their representative season, and congratulations to all those players. But then, of course, Heartland is starting to kick in, and this is where I thought young Mike might have been a bit excited, but the loan players have been announced for Mid-Canterbury with McGregor Bess and Nick Hyde and Zach Healy in the forwards. So they've brought in 3 forward players, and we've got some debuters there as well coming on, especially with Nick Hyde and Zach Healy. They haven't played for Mid-Canterbury before. But Dave Pio, Hugh Cameron, they will be, Hugh out of young Mike's Club Southern. He gets a crack at the green and golds. And but it's awesome to see, you know, guys like Tom Reckie, Nathan McCloy, and that's still running around the paddock. So congratulations to all the Mid-Canterbury players from their club rugby competition who have managed to get into the swing of things for Heartland 2025. But then, of course, yesterday, the Stags were announced, and there's some big names in there with some debuts for Sam Fishgili, Kian Hurley, Sean Kempton, Liam McIntosh, Augustino Salanoa, Jono Tico, Alex Yolop, Nick Shearer, Mika Muliaina. There's a name that will be raising some eyebrows out there. Of course, I believe his dad is Mills. And yeah, so, I mean, they are, well, they're development players. You got Fletcher Morgan there, who has been playing a lot of rugby for Thames Valley, I believe. So the Stags down there are looking very, very strong moving into the NPC for this season. And then, of course, yesterday afternoon, the Taranaki Bulls side was announced. We haven't seen a team yet for next week's Ranfurly Shield Challenge against Thames Valley. Thames Valley will be announcing their team, I believe, on the 14th of July. But some big names there again with Kitely Watson, ex-Wanganui player, coming in there in the props. Harry Hansen in the hooker. Sage Walters Hansen in the loose forwards. I'm just telling you about the guys that are debuting. Kini Naholo, he has been selected but currently unavailable due to injury. And you know, they got some guy called Bowden Barrett in the first fives, and of course some other fella called Scott Barrett in the locks. So yeah, Taranaki looking very, very strong. But we will move on, and we will have a look at the results from last weekend. And wow, there were some massive results around. For the first time ever, Scotland got up over the Maori All Blacks up there in Whangarei by 29 points to 26. And then we had the Asian Rugby Championship, where United Arab Emirates had a close victory over Sri Lanka, 29-21. These are also equal the as Rugby World Cup qualifiers. And then after that game, we had Japan, oh my God, inflicting more pain on the poor Welshmen, getting up 24-19 in sweltering conditions there at Kutayasu in Japan. And but poor old Wales, they're on 18 straight defeats now. Maybe they should bring back Warren Gatland. Haha. But then the big game, I think, that stands out more than anything is, of course, this one here. South Korea taking on Hong Kong, China. And Hong Kong in Incheon in South Korea got away with a huge victory, 70 points to 22. And that gave them qualification to the Rugby World Cup in Australia next year, because it's been increased to, 24 teams or something. And But it's awesome to see. Korea have always been knocking on the door of qualification, but we're always being knocked out by Japan. But Japan, of course, had already qualified. So it came down to pretty much these two who would make it. And Hong Kong, China, well, yeah, will be interesting to see who they draw. Imagine that. The next team, New Zealand playing Hong Kong in the World Cup. Yeah, that'll be one for the history books, I think, but we'll soon see. And anyway, we went down to the first test, of course, down in Dunedin there. The All Blacks at Odipodi, Dunedin, getting up over the French 31-27 against a under-strength French team. I actually had us winning by 20, but hey, I'm always going to say that for the All Blacks. But what a huge result for the French. They really came and showed. They just show that they might have a D team or a C team, but they're still number 3 in the world. So, yeah, really looking forward to this weekend. We'll talk about that later. The Lions, well, they continued on their merry way around Australia. They had wet conditions there in Sydney, or Garigal as they call it. And it was 21-10 to the Lions. Don't know if it was an impressive victory. I didn't think the Waratahs were that good. But, hey, a win's a win, and now they've put on, 130 points to about 20-odd now to the Aussie team. So they're looking strong. In the first test up there in Shilswane in South Africa, Italy on their tour, they've got another game coming up, but they got up the South Africans 42-24, which was an impressive performance by the Italians. They did win previously the week before against Namibia by 70 points. So that was a good hit out for the Italians. And then we had Chile. Well, they been playing a few games around the traps on Southern Tour, July international windows, and they entertained Romania and got up by 40 points to 16. A huge result for the Condors, and that actually now puts them into the top 20. Yep, Chile have now moved into 20th place on the World Rugby World Rankings. So huge congratulations to the Condors. And then, of course, Argentina, fresh off a win against the British Lions. And, wow, they pretty much, it was a dour match, really. I think it was only 3-0 at half-time to the English. And then, but England ran away in La Plata, getting up by 35 points to 12. And then in Tbilisi, the Irish, of course, touring without the Lion boys, got up by 34 points to 5. The United States, who are looking ahead to the next World Cup, which will be held in America, they got up over Belgium by 36 points to 17. I actually gave the Belgians a chance, here, but they pretty much weren't in the game at all in Charlotte, and the USA got up, the Eagles, by 36 points to 17. And then we had the Australians playing Fiji in Mullumbimba, which is Newcastle. And my God, please, TMO, if your team has got the ball and then they're running it and then they're on attack and then they kick the ball and the other team get the ball and score a try, don't go back to find where the Australian actually put his foot out and touch. Then we had about 800 replays to see if a forward pass was forward. It wasn't, but it clearly was. Because one reason I'm saying that is if we look at the last game, or at the start of the top of the show, imagine how the TMO would have ruled on that ANZAC game back in 1989. It would have been ridiculous. There has to be something to done about TMOs. We'll talk about that, of course, later as well. But then, of course, the under-20s here in New Zealand, they got their second win by getting up over the Georgians by 38 points to 19. Again, in sweltering conditions in Italy. Why they're playing these games in these conditions, the mind boggles. I mean, you can have water breaks and all that, but last I looked, rugby was a winter sport, not the height of summer in a heat wave of 37 degrees. But congratulations to what do you call them? The under-20s. And if we have a quick look there, Australia, they got up over Scotland. South Africa got up over England. The French continued the Welsh woes by getting up over them. Argentina snuck away with a very short victory. They held on for 15 minutes at the score at 33-30 over the Spanish. Of course, New Zealand 38-19. And then Italy, who are the hosts, got a famous victory over the Irish by 16 points to 18. And how does that make the tables look? Well, I'll just blow this up. Now, in the under-20s, the top teams in each pool go through to the semi-finals. And at this stage, it looks like South Africa have claimed their position. There's still a battle going on there in Pool B between France and Argentina, both on 10 points. And then New Zealand, well, they're sitting there on 9 points. They didn't pick up a bonus point against the Italians in that first game. So they'll be the next game for them, which is this weekend. These times are all New Zealand times, of course, is on Thursday. The Africans will be taking on Scotland, should wrap that up. England taking on Australia. Wales taking on Spain. The big game, France versus Argentina. Pretty much a quarter-final there to go straight through to the semi-finals. And then, of course, New Zealand, 4 a.m. New Zealand time, will be taking on the Irish, and the Georgians will be taking on the Italians. So Italy will be trying to look for a big win over Georgia to see if they can claim that best third spot, or best second spot, shall I say, to make the semi-finals. So that is that. And then, of course, this weekend, and in Wellington, the Black Ferns will be taking on the Australian Wallaroos at Wellington, at Sky Stadium here in Wellington. And they had a good hit out in a trial match up there in Whangarei before the Maori Scotland game. And the Black Ferns were very dominant, 45-12. It'll be interesting to see out of all the players they used who will be announced in this Black Ferns team coming up this weekend. And then, of course, we had the big game, and 31-27 to the All Blacks. Sever Reece went off injured early on, and Mackenzie came in, and Will Jordan had to move, but the French really brought it to them, and full congratulations to them. But of course, the big news there was, and it sort of did go under the radar a little bit, New Zealand became the first side to win 500 test matches between 1903 and 2025. There were games played before 1903, the New Zealand natives, etc. but the official count is 1903 to 2025. So congratulations to the All Blacks on bringing up 500 victories. And then we have to look forward to this weekend. And, the Georgians, after coming off that defeat to the Irish, they're on their way to Africa now. And they've got a warm-up there on Saturday morning. These times are all New Zealand time, so at 5 a.m. The Free State Cheetahs, previously Super Rugby, of course, will be hosting Georgia and Bloemfontein. And then we've got the Fijians, who were so unlucky. And, give me your picks, is basically what game are you looking forward to this weekend? Because, as I said, I know what I'm looking forward to. But Fiji hosting Scotland and Suva. And, I think Scotland will be in for a bit of a shock, because I do believe Fiji thought they were pretty much robbed against that back-to-back victory against Australia going out the door. And I think they'll be at home very, very hard. And the Scottish, I'm going to go Fiji to win this game by 8. There we go. And then, of course, we've got the second test in Kobe for Wales and Japan. Can the Welsh bounce back? Can they get their first win in 19 games? Or can Japan go 3 and zip in the last 3 games against the Welsh? This is, it's 5:50 New Zealand time. It's mid-afternoon again. It will be probably stinky hot. And, I wouldn't be surprised to actually see the Welsh have a rocket up them at training this week. And I think the Welsh I'm going to say the Welsh to bounce back and win by 10 against the Japanese. And then, of course, I'll be there. But Saturday night, 7:05 New Zealand time, we do have the second test against France. And huge match. It is a sellout. And, of course, we've got the curtain raiser, which is the Black Ferns taking on the Australian Wallaroos from 3 o'clock. So a good afternoon of rugby there. And hopefully the long-range forecast was for some rain. But, hey, long-range forecasts do change. So it'll be interesting to see. Then the great news is by the time that finishes about 9:30, I should be home in time too, because I'm not that far from the stadium, just around the corner. And so I should be home in time to watch the ANZACS take on the British and Irish Lions. Sure, I keep calling them the ANZACS, and people will be going the Oz Invitational 15. It's the ANZACS. Come on, let's be real about this. And so as we saw, the Lions got up against them back in 89 by 19 points to 15. We've got 8 past All Blacks, Maori, the New Zealand Maori captain in there. We've got, pretty much most of the Queensland squad who got thumped. But I'm gonna go for the ANZACS to get up here and win by 10 points. I just think they're just going to run it at the Lions really, really hard at Adelaide Oval. And of course, that kickoff is at 10 o'clock. More to come on that. And then we got the second test between South Africa and Italy at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium there. I won't even pronounce the suburb it's in, but we all know the stadium. South Africa, I think, will probably blow out to another 30, 40-point win there. Portugal, they've been on the up and up, but they are hosting the Irish on, where was that? That would be Sunday morning, 6 a.m. New Zealand time. I think Ireland will be too strong and take this out by 30 points. Uruguay, they're hosting Romania in this July window, and that game at Montevideo. Romania must be really spitting tacks about losing to Chile. I think this will be a boomer of a game. There's some guy called Warren Gatlin helping the Uruguayans at the moment. So I don't know if that's going to help them, but I'm going to say Romania, after a game under the belt, a week away together, that they'll bounce back and get the victory over Uruguay. Argentina, England, that's another Sunday morning breakfast game to watch, and they'll be being played in San Juan, and I think Argentina will bounce back from that and get the victory over England, because they would have had a rocket up them, especially after beating the Lions early doors. And then the games will, oopsie daisy, I just clicked the wrong button there. And then it will rounds out with the Northern Hemisphere. I've just noticed I've made a spelling mistake on my own website. Whoops. But Canada are taking Belgium on, and that will be an interesting matchup. Belgium went down to the Americans, but I think Canada will be looking at rebuilding. They've got to do something to get their international program back on track. And then United States, Spain. Now, these two teams have been having massive battles over the recent years. But I think after last week's victory, that would have pumped up the Americans. And I think the Spanish will get up there at North Carolina. So, there are all the games. And as I said, this weekend, it's sold out at Westpac Stadium, so expect 36,000 people screaming all in black with the odd Frenchman tucked around the corner, but it's going to be an awesome occasion, whether it's rain, hail or snow. Really, really looking forward to it, and especially, as I said, the curtain raiser. So, we have got a game, though, on tomorrow night, and it's, of course, the Brumbies taking on the British Lions, and that team was announced yesterday. Pretty much a full-strength Brumbies side to take on the Lions. There's Ollie Satford there, who plays for Hawke's Bay normally, but it's going to be a huge game, of course, in Canberra, and that is going to be quite a battle. I think the Brumbies will be looking at sort of building on how the Waratahs played against the Lions. But then the Lions, they're bringing in their big guns. And, of course, there was words that one Owen Farrell might have been there in time to play. I'm guessing he might even be in the ANZAC game, which will be an interesting one because plenty of love not lost there between Owen Farrell and the Southern Hemisphere sides. But Finn Russell still is there at number 10. Mario Jocci, he's back again as captain. Front row is looking dangerous. Again, Sheehan and Furlong. And that back row of Chisholm, Curry and Conan have been playing really, really well as well. And, of course, with Russell and Gibson Park there, that'll be an interesting to see how that pans out. And, of course, the other Kiwi, James Lowe's there on the wing with Bundy Aki and Gary Ringrose in the centres. So that game is on tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's tomorrow. I'm sure it is tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see how that game pans out. So hopefully everyone that's watching, and I have got some comments here. I've just looked up and seen some comments. Mike is he is busy, so he's going Fiji to win by 10 and the ABs to win by 12. And he goes, the Lions will win by 15. So we're already having a good old Yahoo. And Mr. Captain Hurricane, good morning. Great to see you. Now, I went and got me ANZAC jersey. But the good thing is we have an ANZAC jersey. Now, you can have this ANZAC jersey, but wait, no, there's no steak knives involved or anything like that. All you need to do is in the comments below, literally in the comments below, you can win this by correctly picking the score on the Australia-New Zealand Invitational 15 versus the British Lions. The shirt has been graciously donated to us by Lifestyle Sports here in Wellington, so thank you very much for your support. And but the thing is, the easiest way to do that is just, as I said, on this podcast, in the comments, type in who you think's going to win with the score, and the first correct entry at the who picks the final score will be done. We will not be accepting any entries on this post after kickoff. So if you want to get it in, if you're not watching it now, you know, and you watch the replay, you can still enter right up until kickoff on what do you call it? Saturday night. So at 10 o'clock. So you've got plenty of time to put your thinking caps on to see who the what do you call them are? The winners are. Now, before you go, oh, what size can I have? There's only one size, 2XL. And to me, I love it. All bar the logo. I'm not a fan of the logo. I wish they had just used the old ANZAC logo from '89, but hey, it is what it is. There is a little bit of black on the bottom, even though half the team is from New Zealand. But that's the shirt anyway. That's up for grabs. So please start entering your picks, and this will be on your way. It is open to New Zealand and Australian viewers only because of the cost of postage. I remember sending a Hurricanes jersey to South Africa once, and it cost about $100. Same day, I sent something to Romania, and it only cost me $20. So how that worked, I don't know. I've always thought Romania was further away from South Africa, but because it costs so much to deliver, we're only going to be in New Zealand or Australia. So get your tips in, and and to help you with that, we do have the squad that came out, and we broke it down. There's 18 Australians in it and 12 Kiwis. Now, we go back to 1989. I did have that all set up here. Initially, we had Richard Lowe, Frano Boddicker, Wayne Shelford, Michael Brewer, Steve McDowell, John Schuster, and John Gallagher from the All Blacks being selected. Of course, we only ended up with Frano Boddicker, Kieran Crowley, who wasn't in the initial lineup, and Steve McDowell in that squad. So to see plenty of Kiwis there it's really, really awesome. We've got George Dyer from the Chiefs, Kirk Eklund, the New Zealand Maoris captain, Falau Fakatava, ex-All Black scrum half, Shannon Frizzell, ex-All Black Lucy, Josh Fisatua from the Blues, David Harvili, captain of the champion Crusaders, AJ Lamb, Nanani Lamapi is back from Japan. He'll be plying his trade with the Manawatu Turbos in the NPC this year, so it's awesome to see him back. I've got Aidan Ross down as a Kiwi, but we all know he's aiming to become an Aussie. But hey, he has been playing for the Chiefs. We've got Hoskins Satutu, who is on his way to Europe. Sean Stevenson there from the Blues, from the Chiefs. And, of course, Jeffrey Tuamanga Allen, who played for the Hurricanes and has now resided in Queensland. So huge representation from the Kiwis this time. And there has been a few, breakdowns. If we look at the Australians who are in the team, Matt Greeley is the only one out of the Western Force who has made the ANZACS side. And then there's 11 Queenslanders. Yep, you heard that right. That's the Les Kiss influence there coming in. You got Lockie Anderson, Richie Iasata, Angus Blythe, Joe Bryle, Jock Campbell, Harry McLaughlin-Phillips, Aidan Ross, who I'm saying is a Kiwi, but hey, he's a Queenslander now. Lukan Salaka Loto, Kalani Thomas, and Jeffrey Tuamanga Allen, and Siru Uru from the Queensland Reds. And then we've got several from the Waratahs who are there. We've got Joey Walton, Tane Edmund, who's been playing for North Harbour, of course, Daniel Both, Derby Lancaster, Matt Phillip, and Pete Samu. So we put all that together. A possible starting lineup for you guys to have a look at is, this is possible. It can completely change. We're not the selectors, but doing the rounds is this could be the possible lineup. Aidan Ross, Eklund, and Dyer in the front row. We've got Matt Phillip and Lucan in the locks. Frizzell, Samu and Satutu in the loosies. Falau Fakatava in the starting scrum half with Tane Edmund. Korobedi, he'll be a force on the wing against the Lions. And then we've got Harvili and Lamb. I don't know who's actually been made captain yet. And then, of course, we've got Richard Iasata, Josh Fisatua, Tuamanga Allen, Uru, Bryle, Thomas, Lamapi to come on as an impact, and Jock Campbell. So, So the other thing we've got here is, it just come up here yesterday. I'll just see if I can quickly get out of what I was looking at here. And I did have this all set up and ready to go. So this is a few words from the coaching team, and let's have a listen. So that was a bit of insight to how it's going there over there in the training camps, etc. for the ANZACS. It looks like they're having a heap of fun, and so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that starting lineup will look. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So that is the oops, where are we? I've lost myself now on my little screen, too busy trying to do heaps of other stuff. Hang Hang on, where did that go? Or was that the last one? I'm sure that wasn't the last photo I had. It might have been the last photo I had. I'll just double check on that one. It was the last photo we had, so that's okay. So, yeah, what have we got? Questions there. Where's the bloody black in it? Well, the black is just here, Captain Hurricane, at the bottom. I suppose, though, we've got to say, no black on the back, no black. Yep, so we've got the little black on the bottom. Sure, it is interesting to see. Mike Sheehan, he's throwing his hat in the ring first off by saying 32-22 to the Lions. And yeah, as I said, get your entries in, throw them in the comments below, either, and we'll see them. So we'd love to see how that all eventuates. And of course, this is also open to our viewers on YouTube. If you are watching this on YouTube, please head over to our Facebook page and have a look at the at this video feed and put your entries in there. So I did say that we would be having a chat about a few things, and Craig Water has just asked the TMO's influence on the games, right? But yes, the right calls have to be made, Captain Hurricane. But I tell you, it's sort of like you see some referees that look at what the TMO has said. I still believe, unless it was literally major off-the-ball foul play, both ARs never saw it happen, a king hit or something really, really that would have affected the match in some way or form. Yeah, sure, get in the ear of the referee and go check. But for forward passes, there is, at the end of the day, a linesman there. Sure, we might have to go back to 2007 and the missed forward pass by Wayne Barnes, but in the All Black France game. But, you sit there and, I'm looking forward to being at the game this weekend, but I don't want to be sitting there looking at a video screen waiting for a decision by the guy upstairs. And remember, you don't have one, you have two. You have a foul play TMO, you have a TMO. So you got two guys looking at every little bump, nick, or scrape. I keep coming back to it. Mistakes are made by officials. We still here in New Zealand talk about the 1905 New Zealand-Wales game when we won the game, but Wales scored the try, but it makes a talking point. It literally makes a talking point. Imagine the French getting up and winning a try and we're all going, oh, where was the TMO? Okay, it's in the record books, but gives you something to talk about on your way back home, doesn't it? In your car and all that sort of stuff. Gives all the keyboard warriors something to have a crack at and bringing out all their analysis on why that was a try or why that wasn't a try, because these guys aren't going to die if a decision is made wrong, unless, of course, it was a foul play incident. If it was a nasty, off-the-ball, head-high, clothesline, whatever, yeah, fine, no problems. But when they start literally interfering, a line-out was incorrectly thrown in, or a forward pass. You can literally watch any rugby game this weekend. Doesn't matter if it's provincial, club, invitational, whatever. There are a lot of passes you go, whoa, that was forward. And your mate beside you goes, yeah, that was flat, but the game carries on. And within a minute, you've forgotten about it because you're still cheering on your team at the other end or in defence. If anything, I think what they should be looking at, in my point of view, is when teams get into that 5 metre mark in front of the goalposts and you get penalty. I reckon after 3 consecutive penalties, the defensive team is literally trying to prevent that team from scoring. And if they've consistently been penalised 3 times in a row, okay, you get a yellow card. No, it should be a penalty try. If you give away 3 penalties inside the 5 metre mark, penalty try. that will wake up a few of these guys try and niggle stuff off the side of the ruck and being offside and defence and all that sort of stuff. But that's my point of view. That's where I reckon the game should look at as well, not just the TMOs. And the referee at the end of the day, he is the be-all and end-all. Mike, we did mention your Mid-Canterbury boys, so congratulations to all your players that have made the side. And, of course, we've been going for almost an hour. That included our little pre-Yahoo with the ANZAC game. So I do thank everybody for watching. As I said, to get your picks in for the jersey, which is sitting here ready to pack up, send off. Get your picks in our comments below. We've already, as I said, had a couple of picks coming in, so you got plenty of time to get those in. In the event of no one getting the correct score, we'll pull out the supercomputer and we will select a winner from all entries, whether you were right with the correct winning team or not. If you pick the Lions and the ANZACS lose and no one got the score, you might win the jersey, vice versa. But we will be giving that jersey away, and it will be in the post next Monday. So, yeah, and that's pretty much it for me today. Really looking forward to this weekend. Really looking forward to the second test between the All Blacks and the French. Good luck to the Brumbies tomorrow night against the Lions. Now, just a quick shout out to our good friend Joe Shep, who produces the Lions Unleashed podcast that will be live tomorrow morning around about 7 a.m. New Zealand time, I believe, on Facebook. He's got some awesome guests coming on. Yours truly will be there to give my theory of life. But we've also organised a player from that 1989 game, Frano Botica. He'll be there. Same with Bruce Rayhana and other guests. So it's a show really to look forward to seeing. So we'll share that to our Heartland page here when it all happens. And Captain Hurricane has gone 35 to the Lions, ANZACS 18. Good luck, Captain Hurricane. Get that ball rolling, share this around, tell people to get their picks in. But otherwise, that's me, pretty much. As I said, a bit hard to do this by my lonesome, but that's all good. So what we'll do is we'll end with our fancy All Black closing thing, and we'll catch you all again later in the week, if not next Tuesday. But I will see everybody hopefully online watching the Lions Unleashed show tomorrow morning New Zealand time around 7 a.m. So good luck. Good luck to all the teams. Good luck to all the club teams and finals. Whoop, whoop. My Johnsonville Hawks are in the semi-final for the Jubilee Cup against the Oriental Rongotai. Winner of that will go on to play play Tawa in the preliminary finals next week. So congratulations to my club there, Johnsonville. And but otherwise, to everybody else, thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure bringing you the special ANZAC Lions French show, and we'll catch up with you all on the next episode. Cheerio.